Hey, what's up, turtles? Krik here. I'm really excited to show you a knife I've been using for a while, and it's a really classic and old-timey knife, and that is the Opinel number 9. This is number 9, and it says it on the collar, this Vira black block collar. It says number 9 made in France. Might not pick it up, but there's a whole series of these different sizes, some with this locking mechanism, which I will show. They even have saws, but this is the Opinel, and it's in that line of sort of penny knives they used to call them, or do call them. It's just a really utilitarian, basically utility knife that's pretty inexpensive. This cost right around 15 bucks, and I bought it in a store, and I'm sort of kicking myself for what I had to do one mod to the blade, which I will show. But it has a beechwood handle, and overall length it's about like 8 1/4, this number 9. Let me show you the locking mechanism, because that's the really cool part about this knife. When these were first being made, the penny knives and stuff like that, they really didn't have any type of locking mechanism to them. But this was sort of put on these Opinels, I believe in 1955, at least the lock open feature. But what you do is just turn this collar, and this is a stainless steel collar and all metal, but the blade on this is carbon, high carbon. You can see what I did that, right? You see that little notch cut in right here? When I roll that open, that opens up that slot in line with the blade, and then I can open it up. And then when it's open again, I will rotate this either direction this time, because it's on both sides. And pay attention underneath the blade right there. And I'm putting force on that, and that's really locked into place, honestly. There's really no play at all moving forward. I mentioned that I had to do a couple modifications to this. Well, the one I had to do, the other one I did on my own. The first one I had to do was, these do not come with like a micro bevel. And you can see it's a high polish right now, because I stropped this to get it super sharp. And is it bouncing off of that? Can you see there's a micro bevel on there, and I put that on there with my sharpening stone. Because at this part of the blade right here, when I bought it, and I didn't notice it till after I got home, because I did buy this in a store, was that it's basically like a flat grind from the top down here coming to a point. But it didn't come to a point right here on the blade, from like right about where my finger is to up here. It didn't come to a point. There was probably at least 1 millimeter of material left, so I had to, like I said, if I wanted this sharp, I had to take it to a point. So I put the micro bevel on that, and I just continued down the whole blade, because in all honesty, for this being, single grind from the spine down to the cutting edge, how else would you sharpen it without like taking off this logo and stuff, with the crowned hand over there, its logo, Opinel's logo. But you can also see I put a sharpening choil down here, and I used just the Dremel for that. You could use a round file to do that too, but I just had a little Dremel, a little bit for the Dremel that worked fine for that. And I don't know, this knife's really cool. I'm much more of a fan of classics than most modern things, and I really like this knife. Oops. Sharp. I'm going to pick up all these pieces of paper. That's pretty sharp, right? Alright, I'm just getting a little nuts. Super sharp. I'm going to get a piece of wood now, and I'm going to pick up all that mess. It's just paper, it'll degrade, but it ain't my style to leave it. As I mentioned earlier, this is the high carbon steel blade. They do have stainless versions available, which I believe is just maybe $1 more. And this will strike a ferrule rod. It has a sharpened spine, and I'll pull a ferrule rod out then and demonstrate that. But you can see it's taking off some of this inner bark from this tulip poplar I'm using. That's kind of cool. Nice little feature for this $15 utility knife. Always got to find that sweet spot when you pick up a knife and use it the first time of the day. Find the angle at once, find that efficient slicing. And for such an inexpensive knife, it really is a really cool piece of equipment, and super useful. Not cheap, just inexpensive. And I'm a real fan of the handle, because I'm just doing these cuts right now, and I can tell you, like, I can't even notice the knife is in my hand For one, because it weighs only about 2 ounces, and second, because of the handle shape. You can see the swoop down here, see the profile of the handle, and then again when I go from the top, you see how there's a swell up here where my fingers are pinching, even down here. So it's just a really great design, super functional and useful, and there's so many cool mods people do to these handles. If you search online for these and mods to the handles, people do some really beautiful work. All right, where's that ferrule rod? Oh, there it is. I'm not a big fan of using my knife spine for ferrule rods all the time, but I like the fact that this is squared, and I want my knives to have that capability. I just don't use it like that most of the time. And you can see I'm being a little bit safer because I have the blade now locked in. Don't have a sharp edge flailing around, potentially cut my brother. So yeah, pretty cool, right? I've had this knife for, it's been at least a year. Heck, it could have even been 2. But you probably can't really tell that because there's not a lot of use or wear on the blade. Because I haven't used it as much as I'd like to, because I really haven't figured out how I want to carry it or the type of sheath I want. So if you have any suggestions, you know, about sheath design or style, let me know. Please let me know. Leave a comment. I guess I could put it around my neck. I'm not a huge fan of neck knives or having things hanging from my neck, but maybe this is so light. Maybe it would be okay, you know, if I just put it under my shirt, whatever I'm wearing. So yeah, let me know. Let me know your opinion. Leave a comment. And one of the reasons it hasn't seen as much use, because this will fit in a pocket well enough, being it's only, you know, right around 4, maybe a little bit larger than 4 closed length, is when I'm using like a modern folding knife, I can operate it all one-handed. Out of the pocket, flip it open, and I can use it, put it back in. With these sort of, you know, lockback or not lockback, but just in general, two-handed required opening the knife, it's maybe not my first choice if I'm actually using it for work or EDC. So either way, let me know your opinion on the sheath, and if you have any experience with Opinels or any other numbers besides this number 9, which I just showed, let me know. This is Krik with Black Owl. Later, turtles.